गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्याप्यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरम् तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव वेद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। जय गुरु। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। So where are we in our text? Aditi, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
We are, I think, at the bottom. We're in the middle of chapter 34.
What are the means to
128.
such perception is where I have a question.
Say that again?
Questioner, what are the means to such perception?
You got it. Okay. Questioner, what are the means to such perception? Maharaj, in life, nothing can be had without overcoming obstacles. The obstacle to the clear perception of one's true being are desire for pleasure and fear of pain. It is the pleasure-pain motivation that stands in the way. The very freedom from all motivation, the state in which no desire arises, is the natural state.
Yes.
Dinner.
So let's nuance this a bit. The mind will always have its preferences. What I tend to translate the word kama, which is usually translated as desire, as craving. It's this deeply rooted belief, I'll be happy when. It'll be better if. I will never do that. If this happens, I will be miserable. This is raga, this is dvesha. And they essentially are the same thing. It's the yearning, the longing, the vancha of the mind. And how do we do it? We step back into the attitude of the witness and we just watch it. The way to heal the mind is to get out of the mind. Just don't do something, stand there. Going on.
Questioner, such giving up of desires, does it need time? Maharaj, if you leave it to time, millions of years will be needed. Giving up desire after desire is a lengthy process with the end never in sight. Leave alone your desires and fears and give your entire attention to the subject, to he who is behind the experience of desire and fear. Ask, who desires? Let each desire bring you back to yourself.
So I like to say we are not healed so much by what we turn from as by what we turn to. When the young lawyer asked the Master Jesus, what is the greatest of the commandments? Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and soul and mind and strength. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Upon these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So here Maharaj is saying the God that one loves is your own self-nature, your own swabhav. To turn the mind always within. And there's a corollary to this question, to whom does all this occur? And that is, who cares? It's always the ego. Any thoughts? Going on.
Questioner, the root of all desires and fears is the same, the longing for happiness. Maharaj, the happiness you think of and long for is mere physical or mental satisfaction. Such sensory or mental pleasure is not the real, the absolute happiness. Questioner, even sensory and mental pleasures and the general sense of well-being which arises with physical and mental health must have their roots in reality. Maharaj, they have their roots in imagination. A man who is given a stone and assured that it is a priceless diamond will be mightily pleased until he realizes his mistake. In the same way, pleasures lose their tang and pains their barb when the self is known. Both are seen as what they are, conditional responses, mere reactions, plain attractions and repulsions, based on memories or preconceptions. Usually, pleasure and pain are experienced when expected. It is all a matter of acquired habits and convictions. Questioner.
I mean, that's a very important statement. I like to say, in general, the mind prefers the familiar, and it frequently will prefer the familiar to the good. We have all these stories. What's his name? The rapper who's on trial, I think in New York right now. Sean Diddy Combs, is that his name? I don't know. Anyway, there's these women who are there as witnesses of his sex trafficking and abuse and all this sort of stuff. And they kept coming back to this relationship. Why would one come back to an abusive relationship? Because it's familiar. Not an uncommon story among abused spouses. Psychologists will tell us that if you're the child of an alcoholic, you have a 50% chance of being one, or listen, marrying one. God, if you had an alcoholic parent, why in God's name would you marry an alcoholic? Unconsciously, because it's familiar. On a more personal level, we may have some narratives about ourselves, about the ego, which may cause us a lot of misery. It's hard to believe I could be attached to my suffering, but in fact, we are. Why? Because it's familiar. It's who I think I am. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Questioner. Well, pleasure may be imaginary, but pain is real. Maharaj. Pain and pleasure always go together. Freedom from one means freedom from both. If you do not
Yes.
care
Wait. So what Maharaj is saying here, essentially, dukkha, suffering, sukham, worldly happiness, are the same thing. They always go together. Why? Because I determine when some person, place, thing, or situation is inherently pleasurable. The problem is the world is always finite. It's always mutable. It's always temporary. And then there's the law of diminishing return. The first chocolate in the See's candy box is marvelous. When I've finished eating the whole box, I want to vomit. I get the brand new car. Oh, this is so shiny and new. A couple of years later, it's just my car. The diminishing return. And the same person, place, thing, or situation that brought me happiness yesterday doesn't do it today because my mind is changed. Here's the world going round and round and round. Here's my mind going round and round and round. This is the world. Now, every once in a while, bang, it lines up. Ooh, that was so great. Let me do that again. And struggle. And what the scriptures tell us, this Vishaya Ananda, this bliss that we experience through the objects, is not in the objects. It's really a taste, momentarily, of my own self-nature. For a moment, when I get what I want, my mind, just for a moment, is freed from the tyranny of longing. So Vedanta does not say the world is evil or bad. It's just completely neutral. It's my craziness that attributes joy-giving or misery-producing properties to it. So Shankara says it so beautifully. He says, Shama is that peaceful state of mind when it rests in steady contemplation of the goal, myself. After having muhu, again and again, detached itself from the chaos of the sense objects. How? Through a steady observation of their defects. The defect is not that the world is evil and bad. The defect is it's impermanent, it's finite, it's transient. It only gives me a reflection of my own self-nature, a mediated experience of myself. That's its inherent defect. Going on.
If you do not care for pleasure, you will not be afraid of pain. But there is happiness which is neither, which is completely beyond. The happiness you know is describable and measurable. It is objective, so to speak. But the objective cannot be your own. It would be a grievous mistake to identify yourself with something external. This churning up of levels leads nowhere. Reality is beyond the subjective and objective, beyond all levels, beyond every distinction. Most definitely, it is not their origin, source, or root. These come from ignorance of reality, not from reality itself, which is indescribable, beyond being and not being. Questioner. Many teachers have I followed, and many doctrines have I studied, yet none gave me what I wanted. Maharaj. The desire to find the self will be surely fulfilled, provided you want nothing else. But you must be honest with yourself and really want nothing else. If, in the meantime, you want many other things and are engaged in their pursuit, your main purpose may be delayed until you grow wiser and cease being torn between contradictory urges.
So let me stop there, if I may. Many of us will enter into the spiritual life with the surface desire, oh, I want moksha, I want liberation. But we have other desires which are just as powerful. I want community. That's a big one for people who want to be in an ashram or join a sangha. I want love and approval of a teacher. In loco parentis, it's somehow trying to heal those deep wounds of not feeling unconditional love from a parent. If I'm holy, maybe then other people will love me and like me. I'll be protected. Things can't hurt me or harm me. I want to be special, a little bit more important than the next person, or maybe a lot more important. I want to be enlightened, and then they'll come touch my feet. All sorts of ancillary desires. And all of those need to be acknowledged and renounced. This is what Trungpa called spiritual materialism, where I make the path itself a new ego possession. All has to go. Are there any thoughts about this?
I have a thought about the previous quote, a question.
Please.
Just thinking about everything being neutral and yet dealing with karma, like that combination. You know, do I need to say more, or you get what I'm saying?
Tell me what you mean by karma.
Like dealing with our karmic debt or our karmic, assets. And so everything being neutral, which, conceptually I get conceptually, but then once you bring in karma of your, what's coming to you that's positive, or what's coming that what you have to pay off, and what is a kind of a boon, then your experience of that neutrality isn't neutral.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. First of all, the word karma simply means work or action. Notions like good karma and bad karma are, again, human judgments on things. Karma is like when you drop a pebble into a pond and the ripples go out and they hit the shore and then they come back. That's all it is. It's an energetic response at the physical and at the psychic level. So in the end, good karma, bad karma is simply our judgments on it. If it causes me pain, I call it bad karma. If it causes me pleasure, I call it good karma. Again, we're caught in the cycle of pleasure and pain. So what the yogi wants to do is rise above issues of karma. The dharma of the body is karma. The dharma of yourself is Satchidananda. The self has no karma. For example, if you have a dream, and in the dream you're arrested for drunk driving and thrown in jail in your dream, and then you wake up and you're safe in your bed and you haven't drunk anything for 10 years. To whom did the karma accrue? Well, it was just imagined. It was just created by the mind. Or let's use something even more on the fantastic side. Natasha, have you ever had a flying dream? Have you?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Okay. Many people do. So, what is the cause of your ability to fly in a flying dream? And is it real? Well, it certainly feels real. It's certainly an experience to the dreamer. But when you wake up in the morning, you know, oh, what a weird dream. You see. So what yoga is saying, that cause and effect or karma really only is part of what Maharaj will call consciousness or chaitanya or mind. It never affects the self. You are achalam, you never move. You are nirmalam, you have no taint, no dirt, positive or negative. You are nirupaham, you don't even have a form. So what he's always striving for is for us to shift this sense of identity. As long as I stay identified with the body, then cause and effect become an issue. Now, let's say you are deeply identified with the equipment. No blame. That's just part of our spiritual unfoldment. What do we do about karma? The thing to understand is you can't change the past. We do not get what we want. We don't even get what we need from a worldly standpoint. We get the inevitable result of our past actions as it interacts with the society as a whole, because various societies have karmas. But they don't have to touch us. One of my clearest examples of this, I don't know, Natasha, have you ever seen the movie Gandhi?
A long time ago.
It's a great film. As a yogi or a yogini, I would recommend watching it again because one of the lots and lots of neat things in it. But one of them, the British general says, "Arrest Mr. Gandhi." So they take him and they put him in jail. But he was really a very deep sannyasi at heart. So he's there in the jail, in his loincloth, spinning his homespun cotton with his books, happy. Because in his mind, he could not be in prison. They could put his body in jail, but they could not imprison him. Antithetically, I just happened to come across a YouTube video of what's that series called? The Crown, the one about the life of Queen Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. And it's when Prince Charles was married to Princess Diana, and he's there talking to his mother and says, "I'm suffering, I'm suffering." And she says, basically, "No, you're not suffering, you're very privileged." But he was suffering, even though he was independently wealthy, had all this privilege, had all this advantage in the world, healthy young body, but he was imprisoned in his mind. I don't know if this is useful for you. I hope it is.
Yes, thank you.
So we can have some wrong ideas of karma. When you mentioned the word karmic debt, it doesn't mean, oh, I've hurt or harmed others in other lifetimes, and now I have to do payback. There's nobody out there punishing us. But I promise you, if you walk up to a policeman and punch him in the face, they're going to put you in cuffs. It's cause and effect. Our point of power is how we respond rather than react to things in life. If we, as Maharaj is inviting us to do, practice vairagya, this deep detachment. When positive things come our way, thank you, God, I don't get attached. Just, be grateful. But when negative things come, thank you, God, it's a chance to do tapas. It's a chance to do renunciation. It's a chance to accept life on life's terms, not to return an eye for an eye. This is called titiksha. Usually translated as forbearance, but it's not about martyred endurance of suffering. It's rooted in a deep understanding that nobody out there is doing it to me. And graciously bear whatever comes. Doesn't mean we don't choose to do things better. If you're sick, it doesn't mean, oh, I should just stay sick and suffer. No, go to the doctor. That's your karma too. But you may get well and you may not. That's your karma. And the chains of causation are lost in time. both Gita and Katha Upanishad have the image of the Ashwatha tree. What's the Ashwatha tree? Who remembers that? Do you remember it, Aditi?
Is it the tree of life?
Yes. So, what's it look like?
The roots are in heaven and the branches are in the ground.
Yeah, it's upside down.
Yeah.
And the mystic symbolism is the fruits and the branches, that's our lives. And the chains of causation, if you've ever dug up a tree, you know, the roots, it's not just one taproot. It's all sorts of branching roots. Then there's these fine little hairs. It's almost like capillaries in your blood system. And the imagery is those chains of causation are just infinite and lost in the infinite itself. So the invitation is to give up these ideas of good karma, bad karma. Now, another way to look at the sort of thing. It is theoretically possible to grow spiritually out of inspiration. However, few of us do it. The great engine for spiritual unfoldment for most of us, most of the time, is suffering. There's my opportunity for renunciation, for detachment, for letting go, keeping my heart open. So when we talk about guru, the physical guru is a temporary psychological device. Life is the major guru. One of my favorite stories. Someone once asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama who his most important guru was. And he thought for a moment and he said, Mao Zedong. You may not be old enough to remember who Chairman Mao was. That was the head of the Chinese Communist Party who sent the armies into Tibet to essentially commit genocide and caused the Tibetans to live in exile. There was a great Tibetan diaspora all over the Western world because of it. And someone had once asked His Holiness, well, why didn't you fight back? And he said, if I had fought back, then the war would not be outside me, it would be inside. Very interesting response. So it was his karma that this happened, but his response was ahimsa, non-violence. That was his titiksha, that was his forbearance. That was his point of power. And believe me, I'm sure it wasn't easy for him. All right, very good question.
I have a question about
Yes,
how does vasana fit in with that? Because vasanas are our past actions,
Same thing.
our history that were burnt, that's still propelling through the present
Vasana and karma are intricately related, yes.
Yeah.
Our karma will exhibit itself. I mean, the scriptures will talk about, is the cause the effect, or is the effect the cause of the cause? And they give the example of the fruit and the seed and the tree that sprouts. So the seed is planted, the tree grows, then you get a fruit. But what happens when the fruit ripens and falls? It becomes a seed. So is the fruit and the seed within it the cause of the tree, or is the seed the cause of the fruit? Do you see how you can't really find
Yes.
which is cause?
Yeah.
So the whole point is, don't worry too much about karma. The way to deal with it is, first of all, as our friend Priya says, profound, radical acceptance. What is the definition of acceptance? The acknowledgement of a material fact. You don't have to like it. You just have to not pretend it's not happening. Then what do? Dial down that reactivity. Let the subtle body shake, rattle, and roll. Stay in the viewpoint of the witness. And just as Maharaj said, to whom is all this occurring? To me, Kolam, who am I? Oh, none of this touches. So I have a bay window here in my apartment. When I'm in the bay window, I can see fancy cars go by, ugly old cars from the 70s, a fire truck go by, an ambulance go by. None of them touch me standing in my bay window. So also, various mind states go by. And it's the mind's interpretation of the phenomenal world. Phenomenal world is essentially neutral. Don't get involved with it. Stay in Sakshi Bhava, the attitude of forgiveness. So we can talk more about karma offline if you wish, Natasha.
No,
Going up.
thank you.
Go within without swerving, without ever looking outward. Questioner. But my desires and fears are still there. Maharaj. Where are they but in your memory? Realize that their root is an expectation born of memory, and they will cease to obsess you.
So let me stop there. What we need to know is those desires and fears are fundamentally illusory. They're a narrative. They have nothing to do with the now. I was talking with a fellow yesterday, and he was talking about, oh, I have social anxiety. All this goes back to when I was in high school. I spent high school hiding in the bathroom. I could not get out and socialize with people. Oh, terrible, terrible social anxiety. The point is, right now, it's not happening. Right now, that's just a memory. That's just a narrative that your mind presents. And the way to be free is don't believe it. It's just imagination. What's happening right now? Bring your attention to the body itself. Breathe. What are you listening to? Put your mind where your hands are working. Or as my sister-in-law says, lose your mind and come to your senses. I like that one. Because those narratives are just imagination. They're not real. Going on.
Questioner. I have understood very well that social service is an endless task because improvement and decay, progress and regress go side by side. We can see it on all sides and on every level. What remains? Maharaj, whatever work you have undertaken, complete it. Do not take up new tasks unless it is called for by a concrete situation of suffering and relief from suffering. Find yourself first, and endless blessings will follow. Nothing profits the world as much as the abandoning of profits. A man who no longer thinks in terms of loss and gain is the truly non-violent man, for he is beyond all conflict. Questioner. Yes, I was always attracted by the idea of ahimsa, non-violence. Maharaj. Primarily, ahimsa means what it says, don't hurt. It is not doing good that comes first, but ceasing to hurt, not adding to suffering. Pleasing others is not ahimsa. Questioner. I am not talking of pleasing, but I am all for helping others. Maharaj. The only help worth giving is freeing from the need for further help. Repeated help is no help at all. Do not talk of helping another unless you can put him beyond all need of help. Questioner. How does one go beyond the need of help? And can one help another to do so? Maharaj. When you have understood that all existence in separation and limitation is painful, and when you are willing and able to live integrally in oneness with all life, as pure being, you have gone beyond all need of help. You can help another by precept and example, and above all, by your being.
Yes. Who you are speaks much louder than anything you can say.
You cannot give what you do not have, and you don't have what you are not. You can only give what you are, and of that you can give limitlessly. Questioner. But is it true that all existence is painful? Maharaj. What else can be the cause of this universal search for pleasure? Does a happy man seek happiness? How restless people are, how constantly on the move. It is because they are in pain that they seek relief in pleasure. All the happiness they can imagine is in the assurance of repeated pleasure. Questioner. If what I am, as I am, the person I take myself to be, cannot be happy, then what am I to do? Maharaj, you can only cease to be, as you seem to be now. There is nothing cruel in what I say. To wake up a man from a nightmare is compassion. You came here because you are in pain, and all I say is, wake up, know yourself, be yourself. The end of pain lies not in pleasure. When you realize that you are beyond pain and pleasure, aloof and unassailable, then the pursuit of happiness ceases and the resultant sorrow too. Pain aims at pleasure, and pleasure ends in pain relentlessly. Questioner. In the ultimate state, can there be no happiness? Maharaj, nor sorrow, only freedom. Happiness depends on something or other and can be lost. Freedom from everything depends on nothing and cannot be lost. Freedom from sorrow has no cause and therefore cannot be destroyed. Realize that freedom. Questioner. Am I not born to suffer as a result of my past? Is freedom possible at all? Was I born of my own will? Am I not just a creature? Maharaj. What is birth and death but the beginning and the ending of a stream of events in consciousness? Because of the idea of separation and limitation, they are painful. Momentary relief from pain we call pleasure, and we build castles in the air hoping for endless pleasure, which we call happiness. It is all misunderstanding and misuse. Wake up, go beyond, live really. Questioner. My knowledge is limited, my power negligible. Maharaj. Being the source of both, the self is beyond both knowledge and power. The observable is in the mind. The nature of the self is pure awareness, pure witnessing, unaffected by the presence or absence of knowledge or liking. Have your being outside this body of birth and death, and all your problems will be solved. They exist because you believe yourself born to die. Undeceive yourself and be free. You are not a person. That's the end of the chapter.
Any thoughts before we go on? Next one.
35. The greatest guru is your inner self. The greatest guru is your inner self. Truly, he is the supreme teacher. He alone can take you to your goal, and he alone meets you at the end of the road. Confide in him, and you need no outer guru. Questioner. On all sides, I hear that freedom from desire and inclinations is the first condition of self-realization. But I find the condition impossible to fulfill. Ignorance of oneself causes desires, and desires perpetuate ignorance. A truly vicious circle. Maharaj, there are no conditions to fulfill. There is nothing to be done, nothing to be given up. Just look and remember that whatever you perceive is not you, nor yours. It is there in the field of consciousness, but you are not the field and its contents, nor even the knower of the field. It is your idea that you have to do things that entangle you in the results of your efforts. The motive, the desire, the failure to achieve, the sense of frustration, all this holds you back. Simply look at whatever happens and know that you are beyond it.
Now let me stop there. I'm going to push back a little bit on Maharaj. His teaching is the highest teaching for those who are spiritually prepared for it. The beauty of the tradition is that it will give us practices at whatever level we're at. So people with the grossest minds, what Swamiji would call recent arrivals from the animal kingdom, what they may need to focus on is moral precepts. Practicing giving up lying, cheating, stealing, filth. Do good, be good. Don't hurt people, don't hurt yourself. Then later on, we would add to this devotion to God, which may be even in the form of devotion to a guru. Practicing karma yoga. Giving up ashubha age, inauspicious desires, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. and instead cultivating auspicious desires, keeping holy company, study of the scriptures, doing service to the Guru. When we've done these things for some time, maybe for some lifetimes, then the mind is pure enough. It's predominantly sattvic, and Maharaj's teaching can take root. But because he's in that highest state of yoga, and the people who come to him are largely prepared for that, or they wouldn't be coming to him, he's able to give this teaching. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Questioner. Does it mean I should abstain from doing anything? Maharaj. You cannot. What goes on must go on. If you stop suddenly, you will crash. Questioner. It is a matter of the known and the knower becoming. Is it a matter of the known and the knower becoming one? Maharaj. Both are ideas in the mind and the words that express them. There is no self in them. The self is neither between nor beyond. To look for it on the mental level is futile. Stop searching and see. It is here and now. It is that I am you know so well. All you need to do is to cease taking yourself to be within the field of consciousness. Unless you have already considered these matters carefully, listening to me once will not do. Forget your past experiences and achievements and stand naked, exposed to the winds and rains of life, and you will have a chance. Questioner. Has devotion, bhakti, any place in your teaching? Maharaj. When you are not well, you go to a physician who tells you what is wrong and what the remedy is. If you have confidence in him, it makes things simple. You take the medicine, follow the diet restrictions, and get well. But if you do not trust him, you may still take a chance, or you may study medicine yourself. In all cases, it is your desire for recovery that moves you, not the physician. Without trust, there is no peace. You always trust somebody or other. It may be your mother or your wife. Of all the people, the knower of the self, the liberated man, is the most trustworthy. But merely to trust is not enough. You must also desire. Without desire for freedom, of what use is the confidence that you can acquire freedom?
Okay, let me stop there. There's a question I frequently hear. But Jim, you've told us, or the scriptures tell us, we have to give up desires. What about the desire for freedom? Should I give that up? The desire for freedom is different than all other desires. Desires for worldly things are desires for things that are not real. What do you want, Jim? Oh, I want a castle in the clouds. You can't have a castle in the clouds, Jim. Why? Because they don't exist. They're not real. All of our desires for anything in this world is nothingness. Yet the mind seeks its Paramashanti, its supreme peace. So this mumukshutva, the burning desire for liberation, is a desire for something real. Now listen carefully. In the end, that has to go too. But while we're doing our sadhana, we subordinate, we sublimate our worldly desires into that. What do I mean by that? Very typical experience, a kid in college. It's Friday night and she's got a paper due Monday. She really wants to do well in this class. And her friends come by the dorm room and say, hey, we're going out for pizza and beer. You want to come with us? And she says, oh, that sounds like so much fun. What's the term the kids use? FOMO, fear of missing out. And she says, no, I really want to do well on this paper and get a good grade in this class. Go on, you guys go ahead. This is more important to me. So that's the kind of attitude we subordinate, we sublimate our worldly desires into our mumukshutva. We become a jinyasu, someone who seeks knowledge of the self, direct experience. Let's see what Maharaj says about it.
Without desire for freedom, of what use is the confidence that you can acquire freedom? Desire and confidence must go together. The stronger the desire, the easier comes the help. The greatest guru is helpless as long as the disciple is not eager to learn. Eagerness and earnestness are all important. Confidence will come with experience. Be devoted to your goal, and devotion to him who can guide you will follow. If your desire and confidence are strong, they will operate and take you to your goal, for you will not cause delay by hesitation and compromise. The greatest guru is your inner self. Truly, he is the supreme teacher. He alone can take you to your goal, and he alone meets you at the end of the road. Confide in him, and you need no outer guru. But again, you must have the strong desire to find him, and do nothing that will create obstacles and delays. And do not waste energy and time on regrets. Learn from your mistakes and do not repeat them. Questioner: if you do not mind my asking a personal question. Maharaj: yes, go ahead. Questioner: I see you sitting on an antelope skin. How do you reconcile that with nonviolence? Maharaj: all my working life, I was a cigarette maker, helping people spoil their health. In front of my door, the municipality has put up a public lavatory, spoiling my health. In this violent world, how can one keep away from violence of some kind or other? Questioner: surely all avoidable violence should be avoided. And yet in India, every holy man has his tiger, lion, leopard, or antelope skin to sit on. Maharaj: maybe because no plastics were available in ancient times, and a skin was the best way to keep the damp away. Rheumatism has no charm, even for a saint. Thus the tradition arose that for lengthy meditations, a skin is needed. Just like the drum hide in a temple, so is the antelope skin of a yogi. We hardly notice it. Questioner: but the animal had to be killed. Maharaj: I have never heard of a yogi killing a tiger for his hide. The killers are not yogis, and the yogis are not killers. Questioner: should you not express your disapproval by refusing to sit on a skin? Maharaj: what an idea! I disapprove of the entire universe. Why only a skin? Questioner: what is wrong with the universe? Maharaj: forgetting yourself is the greatest injury. All the calamities flow from it. Take care of the most important. The lesser will take care of itself. You do not tidy up a dark room. You open the windows first. Letting in the light makes everything easy. So let us wait to improve others until we have seen ourselves as we are and have changed. There is no need to turn around and round in endless questioning. Find yourself, and everything will fall into its proper place. Questioner: the urge to return to the source is very rare. Is it at all natural? Maharaj: outgoing is natural in the beginning, ingoing in the end. But in reality, the two are one, just like breathing in and out are one.
Let me stop there for a moment. Krishna says everyone always in every way pursues me just by the wrong method. So in the end, the very dharma of the mind, which is to seek pleasure and avoid pain, is the very engine that in the end brings us to self-realization. My God is my good, and my good is my God. If I think drug, sex, and rock and roll is what's good, that's my God, and that's what I'm going to pursue. And I'll pursue it until I see that it's empty. And then I'll say, well, let me try something else. Let me try being president. Maybe that'll do it. Until I find that is empty. Having a family, maybe that'll do it. Until I find in the end, that is empty. And we go through the whole world only to find its fundamental emptiness. It's like sand falling through our fingers. Eventually, we get exposed to spiritual ideas or maybe a spiritual person. And then we think, well, maybe the answer is spirituality. Maybe it will deliver something real. And again, the mumukshutva, the desire for freedom, is different than any other desire because it's a desire for something real, my self-nature. Going on.
Let's see. In questioner, in the same way, are not the body and the dweller in the body one? Maharaj: events in time and space, birth and death, cause and effect, these may be taken as one, but the body and the embodied are not of the same order of reality. The body exists in time and space, transient and limited, while the dweller is timeless and spaceless, eternal and all-pervading. To identify the two is a grievous mistake and the cause of endless suffering. You can speak of the mind and body as one, but the body-mind is not the underlying reality. Questioner: whoever he may be, the dweller is in control of the body and therefore responsible for it. Maharaj: there is a universal power which is in control and is responsible. Questioner: and so I can do as I like and put the blame on some universal power? How easy. Maharaj: yes, very easy. Just realize the one mover behind all that moves and leave it all to him. If you do not hesitate or cheat, this is the shortest way to reality. Stand without desire and fear, relinquishing all control and all responsibility. Questioner: what madness? Maharaj: yes, divine madness. What is wrong in letting go of the illusion of personal control and personal responsibility? Both are in the mind only. Of course, as long as you imagine yourself to be in control, you should also imagine yourself to be responsible. One implies the other. Questioner. How can the universal be responsible for the particular? Maharaj. All life on earth depends on the sun. Yet you cannot blame the sun for all that happens, though it is the ultimate cause. Light causes the color of the flower, but it neither controls nor is responsible for it directly. It makes it possible, that is all. Questioner. What I do not like in all this is taking refuge in some universal power. Maharaj, you cannot quarrel with the facts. Questioner. Whose facts? Yours or mine? Maharaj, yours. You cannot deny my facts, for you do not know them. If you knew them, you would not deny them. Here lies the trouble. You take your imagining for facts, and my facts for imagination. I know for certain that all is one. Differences do not separate. Either you are responsible for nothing or for everything. To imagine that you are in control and responsible for one body only is the aberration of the body-mind. Questioner. Still, you are limited by your body. Maharaj. Only in matters pertaining to the body. This I do not mind. It is like enduring the seasons of the body. They come, they go, they hardly ever affect me. In the same way, body-minds come and go. Life is forever in search of new expressions. Questioner. As long as you do not put the entire burden of evil on God, I am satisfied. There may be a God for all I know, but to me he is a concept projected by the human mind. He may be a reality to you, but to me society is more real than God, for I am both its creature and its prisoner. Your values are wisdom and compassion. Society's is sagacious selfishness. I live in a world quite different from yours. Maharaj, none compels. Questioner, none compels you, but I am compelled. My world is an evil world, full of tears, toil, and pain. To explain it away by intellectualizing, by putting forth theories of evolution and karma, is merely adding insult to injury. The god of an evil world is a cruel god. Maharaj, you are the god of your world, and you are both stupid and cruel. Let God be a concept, your own creation. Find out who you are and how you came to live, longing for truth, goodness, and beauty in a world full of evil. Of what use is your arguing for or against God when you just do not know who God is and what you are talking about? The God born of fear and hope, shaped by desire and imagination, cannot be the power that is the mind and the heart of the universe. Questioner. I agree that the world I live in and the God I believe in are both creatures of my imagination. But in what way are they created by desire? Why do I imagine a world so painful and a God so indifferent? What is wrong with me that I should torture myself so cruelly? The enlightened man comes and tells me, it is but a dream to put an end to. But is he not himself a part of the dream? I find myself trapped and see no way out. You say you are free. Of what are you free? For heaven's sake, don't feed me on words. Enlighten me, help me to wake up, since it is you who sees me tossing in my sleep. Maharaj, when I say I am free, I merely state a fact. If you are an adult, you are free from infancy. I am free from all description and identification. Whatever you may hear, see, or think of, I am not that. I am free from being a precept or a concept. Questioner.
All right, it's noon. How much more in this chapter?
1 page.
Do you want to finish it? Let's do it.
Yeah. Questioner. Still, you have a body and you depend on it. Maharaj, again, you assume that your point of view is the only correct one. I repeat, I was not, am not, shall not be a body. To me, this is a fact. I too was under the illusion of having been born, but my guru made me see that birth and death are mere ideas. Birth is merely the idea I have a body, and death, I have lost my body. Now, when I know I am not a body, the body may be there or may not. What difference does it make? The body-mind is like a room. It is there, but I need not live in it all the time. Questioner, yet there is a body, and you do take care of it. Maharaj, the power that created the body takes care of it. Questioner, we are jumping from level to level all the time. Maharaj, there are two levels to consider, the physical, of facts, and mental, of ideas. I am beyond both. Neither your facts nor ideas are mine. What I see is beyond. Cross over to my side and see with me. Questioner, what I want to say is very simple. As long as I believe I am the body, I must not say, God will look after my body. God will not. He will let it starve, sicken, and die. Maharaj, what else do you expect from a mere body? Why are you so anxious about it? Because you think you are the body, you want it to be indestructible. You can extend its life considerably by appropriate practices, but for what ultimate good? Questioner, it is better to
True
live.
story. So there was a young man, this is maybe 7-8 years ago, and he was a very serious yogi in the Hatha, Raja Yoga tradition. And he had been reading books about yogis in the Himalayas who practice pranayama and raised the kundalini and lived for 400 years. And I said, well, first of all, you're going to have to quit having sex because you've got to redirect all that energy. So that was a little disappointing for him. And then I said, so they live for 400 years. What happens at year 401? They're dead. They're just as dead as those of us who live 70, 80, 90 years. And in the grand scheme of time, both are just as special. That's all. Going on.
Questioner, it is better to live long and healthy. It gives us a chance to avoid the mistakes of childhood and youth, the frustrations of adulthood, the miseries and imbecility of old age. Maharaj, by all means live long, but you are not the master. Can you decide the days of your birth and death? We are not speaking the same language. Yours is make-believe talk. All hangs on suppositions and assumptions. You speak with assurance about things you are not sure of. Questioner, therefore I am here. Maharaj, you are not yet here. I am here. Come in. But you don't. You want me to live your life, feel your way, use your language. I cannot, and it will not help you. You must come to me. Words are of the mind, and the mind obscures and distorts. Hence, the absolute need to go beyond words and move over to my side. Questioner, take me over. Maharaj, I am doing it, but you resist. You give reality to concepts, while concepts are distortions of reality. Abandon all conceptualization and stay silent and attentive. Be earnest about it, and all will be well with you. That's the end of the chapter.
Oh, beautiful stuff. Any thoughts before we end? Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om.